Welcome to SpeedyPodz Episode 2. We're digging into the latest business news, looking at the big company moves and market shifts you need to know about. Think of this as your shortcut to getting up to speed on what's driving the economy right now. So let's jump right in. Jack Dorsey's company, interesting day for them. They were up, over 7% briefly after earnings, but then kind of faded back to minus 1.5%, even though they beat expectations, right? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's a pretty classic price to perfection situation. The stock had this huge run up before the earnings came out, like over 60% from the low back in May.
Wow, okay.
So even with good results and Cash App looked pretty strong, there just wasn't much fuel left in the tank after that rally. Especially, maybe some Summer Friday profit-taking vibes too.
Right, makes sense. But some banks still downgraded, despite the beat.
Exactly. Shows how high the bar was set.
Okay, moving on. Seemed like a tough week for some ad tech players. Pinterest down 8%.
Yeah, Pinterest. Their ad pricing came in a bit softer than Wall Street wanted anyway. Analysts are sort of saying they're not quite grabbing that AI ad spend boom, like Google or surprisingly Reddit seemed to be.
Interesting. And then Trade Desk. That drop looked huge.
Oh, yeah, down 39%. That's their worst day since they went public back in 2016.
Ouch. What happened?
Competition, mainly. Big concerns about Amazon stepping up its game with its own demand-side platform the software advertisers use.
Oh, okay. So Amazon's flexing its muscles there.
Pretty much. It really underscores how dominant those huge platforms can be.
All right, let's talk consumers. Sweet Green, the salad chain, shares tanked 24%. That's their biggest drop ever in a single day, I read. Is it just that people don't want $15 salads anymore?
Well, it's probably a bit more than that, but yeah, the price point is key. They slashed their guidance, missed estimates. It really suggests U.S. consumers are getting more careful, pulling back.
Even on things like, fancy salads.
Exactly. It's a pretty strong signal, maybe even hitting more affluent consumers now, suggesting a broader slowdown in discretionary spending.
Okay, but not all doom and gloom, right? ArtFlow had a great debut.
Yes. Finally, some positive IPO news, especially in biotech and AI. HeartFlow, they do AI software for heart disease diagnostics. They popped, almost 50% on day one?
Nice, yeah.
Raised over $300 million. It shows there's still appetite for innovation, particularly that AI healthcare intersection. They offer this cool, personalized 3D heart model.
Very cool. So some hope there for the IPO market, maybe?
Definitely a bright spot.
Okay, now, Eli Lilly. Big pharma name. They had a really rough week, down 18%, worse since 2008.
Right.
But their overall results were okay, weren't they?
Yeah, the company itself is doing fine. This was all about their weight loss pill data. The new one, an oral GLP-1.
The Ozempic competitors.
Right. The trial results were underwhelming, showed less weight loss than hoped, and critically higher rates of side effects. So that just overshadowed everything else for the stock this week.
Gotcha. And let's wrap the company news with Apple. Huge surge, 13% up. Best week since mid-2020. Driven by that Trump announcement about Apple spending $100 billion more on U.S. manufacturing.
Yeah, that was the main catalyst. Likely a move to, get ahead of potential tariffs. It also ticks a box for investors who wanted more clarity on Apple's plans.
But are there still questions about their AI strategy specifically? I feel like I keep hearing that.
Oh, absolutely. Despite the spending news, there's still that undercurrent of criticism about Apple's, let's say, inaction or ineptitude in AI.
Like Siri still not being great.
Exactly. Siri's performance is often cited, so investors are happy about the manufacturing spend, but they really want to see concrete AI progress too.
Which brings us nicely to the bigger AI picture. OpenAI's GPT-5 launch kind of landed with a thud. Seemed less groundbreaking.
Yeah, underwhelming was a word I saw used a lot. It didn't feel like the huge leap forward previous versions were. It didn't definitively blow past competitors like, say, Grok 4. It raises questions about, are we hitting a temporary plateau in these frontier models?
Interesting point. And tied to all this AI development is this massive investment.
Yeah.
And the energy it needs.
Oh, it's staggering. We're talking hundreds of billions pouring into AI data centers now, potentially trillions more in just the next 5 years.
Trillions. Wow.
Yeah. And the power demands. I saw a number. Anthropic alone is aiming for 50 gigawatts in the U.S.
50 gigawatts. What does that even mean?
Well, put it this way. That's roughly 5% of total U.S. electricity production capacity just for one company's AI plans. It's immense, like powering 50 million homes.
That is hard to wrap your head around. And this intense AI race, the energy needs, It all feeds into global competition, doesn't it?
Directly. You see China, for instance, racing to build out energy capacity. They're adding like a terawatt every 18 months. A lot of it's solar. It's an energy arms race fueling the AI arms race.
And meanwhile, the U.S. is shifting trade policy. Tariffs seem to be back in a big way.
Very much so. We saw that 50% tariff on India, citing unfair trade practices and buying Russian oil. It's a significant policy reversal, this move towards tariffs, trying to force reshoring, rebalance trade deficits.
Kind of a big economic experiment.
Absolutely. It creates a lot of uncertainty in the markets. We don't really know the long-term economic consequences yet.
So, quite a week. We've seen stocks react sharply to earnings, sometimes ignoring the headline beat. We've seen the massive shadow of AI, both its potential and its enormous resource demands, and these big shifts in global trade policy creating ripples everywhere.
Yeah, a lot happening. So thinking about all this, what really stands out to you from today's deep dive? How do you see these individual company stories, this huge AI investment wave, and these changing trade winds all kind of intersecting to shape what's next for business? Where are the opportunities?